Hi everyone. Osam, you can
Bro,
confirm if I am audible enough.
yeah, you're allowed.
Okay, thank you. So I hope you're having a good weekend, wherever you are. I'm also having a good one, and thank you all for tuning in today. So we continue with our sessions. Today we are talking about decision making. Critical thinking. Sorry. Sam, give me a minute. Just a minute. Let me set something up. Sam, you can confirm if my screen is visible before I continue. Sam,
Yes, your screen is visible, but your slide is not visible.
the slide is not visible. Okay,
You can see your screen, but the slide.
sure. Just a minute. Is my slide visible now?
Yes, please, you can proceed now. It's visible.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I'm also happy to be here with you today. And if my voice goes down, please, Sam, you can let me know. Last week we had some problems with my voice. I guess I was too low. Some people could not hear me well. But please monitor for me if you say that I am not loud enough. You can tell me so that I can adapt fully. Anyways, I just want to take this on time to welcome you to today's session. We are talking about decision making, critical thinking, and problem solving. I hope we will have a good session. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask and raise your hand, and Sam will give you an opportunity to ask your questions. Anyway, without wasting much time, let's go directly to our topic for today. As you can see on the screen, your life today is a result of the decision you've made and the ones you avoided. What does this mean in our day-to-day life? When you talk about decision making, it's something critical. It's something that determines our results. It's something that determines where we are going or what we are going to achieve now or in the near future. And also, there are good and bad decisions, and each of one has consequences, maybe negative or positive consequences. And you have a quote that says that if nothing changes in how you think, nothing will change in your life. That reflect on the same, because part of the decision comes from our mind. As before you decide, you think, and after thinking now, you come up with a decision that might impact your life in a positive or a negative way. So let's get in and start our discussion for today. Sorry about that. So sorry about that. Uh, is my screen still visible, Sam?
Yeah, but not the slides.
On the slide, okay.
Yes, I think you are good to go now, Emmanuel.
Sam, am I okay to continue?
Yes, you're good to go, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're talking about decision making, and the problem with our decision, it's not like it's about your decision, it's about the decision you make as a person. Because we normally blame circumstances, or we blame situations, but in reality, it's how you act, it's how you make your own decision. Because people can be in the same situation like you, but the outcome depends on how you handle, how you decide, because all these things revolves under Sam. Am I audible? Somebody was talking.
Yes, Emmanuel, you can continue. I muted him.
Oh, okay, thank you. So when we talk about decisions, majorly most people tend to think like when we make decision, it's just about the big things. Maybe it's about your career, maybe it's about something big. But in our day-to-day life, we are making decision now. Everyday lives, we are making decision. Every morning you wake up, there is a decision you make. Every day you go to sleep, there is also a decision you are making. And all these decision the one that drives your life forward. Assuming you had something to do and you decide, okay, I will do it later. That's a decision that you've made, and in one way or another, it will affect your tomorrow, either negatively or positively. So decision or decisions are not some things we assume. These are the core fundamentals of our lives. And if you've not made a decision in life, you will be lying to yourself, because these are the things that happen. Even the small things you neglect or you ignore are the decisions also. And I can tell you, it accumulates slowly. And before you know, you'll end up in a deep mess, and you will be wondering what happened, where did I start? But these are the things, these are the habits that you decide on a daily basis. You decide today you don't want to do something, it adds something. Tomorrow you decide, okay, you were supposed to do something and you bail, it adds. Before you know, you'll now be questioning your entire life, like, what happened to me? Why are people moving forward? Why am I stuck? But it's not about any other person. It's because of you. It's because of what you decide today. It's because of that ignorance, that thing you postponed, that adds up until it becomes something big. What is the cost of avoiding decision? First of all, when you avoid decision, you have two outcomes. It's either you have a negative outcome or a positive outcome, depending on the situation you're in, depending on what you want to achieve. And the cost of avoiding decision one is staying in the wrong career. Assuming you wanted to pursue something in your career, or you wanted to pursue a different career roadmap, and you end up doing something else, or you are in this space whereby it's not good for you. Maybe the workplace is toxic, and this every time you don't want to take a step forward because you're afraid of the consequences that might happen. Now, this job you are doing is what you know. It's what that has something that has brought you from nowhere to somewhere, and now you are living in fear because you are asking yourself, what if I decide to leave this organization, who will hire me? Sometimes you say, okay, what will happen next? I don't have any other source of income. I don't have anybody to depend on. And you will be like, okay, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to decide. As long as I get something, let me continue doing. But one thing you don't remember or you forget is that you will give your best. But what I'm telling you for a fact, maybe sometimes these people or this organization don't need you. They will not even ask you. You'll just wake up the next morning and they are telling you you no longer work here. And that's the reality of life. Now you'll start questioning, like, if I wish I knew I could have done something earlier, if I wish I knew I could have even try finding somewhere, but you have the opportunity to do it and you did not. I remember some weeks ago, I have a friend of mine. She is a retiree. We were working on a certain project, and we were talking about how she was a teacher, and being a teacher, you are just your life revolves under one thing. Just wake up in the morning, you prepare, you go to school, you teach, you come back. That's it. You don't have anything else to do. The moment you arrive, you are tired, and you even don't have energy to do anything else. You don't have anything else left for you. You just sleep, and you wake up, you continue. And she was telling me for the past 40 plus years, that's what she used to do. She was just going through the same cycle again and again and again. This person even did not do much. You forget about yourself, you forget about your well-being, you forget even about upskilling. And now, immediately when she came out, now she is retired. She kept asking herself a lot of questions. You see, when you retire, you are, I guess she's around 55 years. Now, you still have a long way to do. And now, since your mind has been conditioned in one place, you just knew one thing. You have to wake up, you go to teach, and come back. By the time now you realize that there is more life, or you have a lot more to do than teaching alone, that's where you will realize that you've lost a lot of time, and it's probably too late for many people. But for her, she challenged herself, like, this is not the kind of life I want to live. This is That's the opposite, because with the development of things, how things are going, she didn't even know how to even operate on this social media. You find even it's even hard for her to chat on WhatsApp, because her life was just simple. It looked simple, but it was complicated because it's like you are exempted from the rest of the world. Because when people are evolving, you're just there. You are thinking of what you are going to do tomorrow, what you are going to teach the next day. But in one way or another, you find losing yourself. And this is not even the one example. There are a lot of examples of the same things. The same with the workplace. You are the same with the things you are doing in life. You can be conditioned in one place, in that you can't move forward, you can't make any decision, you can't decide on anything, you can't even think beyond. And by doing so, you are hurting yourself. And by the time you realize that you wasted a lot of time, or you could have done other things, it will be too late. And you catching up is really, it's not something easy. You changing your habits now from what you are doing, transitioning to something else, takes a lot of time. It takes energy. It takes, I'm telling you, a lot. That's why we are here today, to understand these things, to understand that regardless of how things can be difficult, we still have some space, we still have something in us that can make those hard, difficult decisions, and be ready face the consequences. One thing that happens is that we live in denial. We don't want to accept that things might change. You are suffering now. You don't want to accept that maybe if I move out of my comfort zone, something will change. And you cannot move without deciding. Deciding is accepting it, accepting things the way they are, accepting that yes, it might be a wrong decision, but at least I would have learned something and continue. Let's talk now to ourselves as youth. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we heading? In your life, what decision have you made? Because as youth, myself included, we normally find ourselves in difficult spot and end up making wrong decision. But the good thing about making wrong decision is that you are learning something. Yes, as long as you don't make something that is extreme that can ruin your life. If these are small mistakes, we learn something. And if you're not learning something from the mistake that you are making, that means something is really wrong with you, and you should really check where you are headed, because with no time you will completely lose yourself. The second thing about the cost of avoiding decision is not applying for opportunities. As youth now, where we are, it doesn't matter maybe the career or the skills you have, or the level at which you are in. Because I believe in each and every level, you have something that you can give. Sometimes you find that there are some internships, or some sponsorship, and you don't apply these things. You are just there waiting for an opportunity to come. You are not taking any step at all. You are not doing anything at all. And now you start blaming yourself for what happened to me. What am I not doing right? You are not doing anything because you are not making a decision to move away from where you are and start looking life beyond what you can see now. The other thing is not starting at all. When you talk about not starting at all, it's everything. Have you started something and you failed? No. Have you even tried going somewhere to ask for something and you were denied? No. We fear. Fear is threatening our lives, in that we don't want to do the uncomfortable things. We just want to follow the procedure. And in many ways, if you don't bend, you will find that you're following the same routine, or the same procedure that other people used to. It will take you time. Assuming now you just finished campus maybe last year, and you are there trying to apply for different jobs in different organizations. You can do it. You are applying and applying and applying. What you do is just apply online. You don't want to even get out of where you are and go asking without even applying, because you've been applying for long and you're not getting anything. What else have you done differently, so that okay, you tried your best? Have you tried going to this organization, knocking and asking them, okay, I finished this and this, I'm looking for this kind of opportunity to start with? Have you volunteered in anywhere? Because I believe there are a lot of organizations who will be willing to take you in as a volunteer. Have you asked? Those are the decisions you want to make. And if you're not ready to make such decision, then not deciding is a decision. Most people destroy their future quietly by delay. Why people fail to decide? We've all failed to decide in one way or another. And later on, you came to realize that I wish I could have decided on this. I wish I could have made a decision about something that I didn't. I will be much better now. I will be in a good position. I know everyone has failed to make decision in all aspects of our lives, and you know the consequences. You know what happened after that. And the first thing is the fear of failure. You want to be too much perfect. You want to be seen as that person who don't make mistakes. But in this life, I have not seen anybody who is perfect. And we all know that we can never be perfect. At least something must go wrong in one way or another. But are we ready to accept that we will fail, but in the long term we will learn something and proceed. Last week we talked about mentality, and in what we discussed is that fear can also make you demean yourself. You don't want to be seen as a failure. You don't want to be seen as somebody who can't do anything. But in you guarding yourself, you're also losing, because at the end of the day, nobody will decide for you. At the end of the day, you'll be the one to decide your life. Yes, we been living maybe under our parents' roof for a very long time, since you are born, maybe up to 18, 19, or 20. But after that, now the life beyond 20, we can say, it's about you. Some people started deciding for themselves long ago when they were still young, because of the situation, because of the circumstance they got themselves in. And you find that by doing this, by deciding for yourself, you are training your mind to accept that, yes, things will be good today and things will not be good tomorrow. But regardless of whatever happened, I will stand up and I will decide. I will make those difficult decisions. If it hurts me, so be it. At least I learned something and I continue. And by saying you decide, you don't decide on things that are hurting yourself. You don't decide on, okay, yes, I've decided today I will start drinking. Who decide on that? And what is the long term? What is the long term effect of you being a drunkard? Or you've decided, okay, I want to smoke seriously. What are you going to gain? When we talk about decision, you are deciding on things that will help your life. You are deciding on things that are building you, that are building the future you want to live, not destroying yourself in terms of making decisions. Fear of judgment is something else. We are too much conditioned to think more about other people than what we think for ourselves. You find that most people, before they do something, they just think, they overthink about everything. They overthink about, okay, what will my mother say? What will my father say? What will my, I don't know, brothers, my sisters, my friends will say about this thing? But remember, this is about your life. Whatever you do it for the benefit of yourself. And if you want to help the people you want to help, you just have to make a hard decision that will be uncomfortable for them, but in the long run the uncomfort will be a norm, because now you've become somebody better, even if whatever you are doing does not match whatever they wanted, but at least now you are becoming somebody of substance, somebody who can help. It is better to be judged now and live a good life later on than to fear judgment now and end up failing in life. The second thing is overthinking. Yes, without before you make any decision, you overthink. Assuming you are told, like, to pass this examination, you were supposed to read. This is not something you are supposed to overthink. You know, it's only two-way. If I don't read, I will fail. So why do you need to overthink? Why do you need to question, like, okay, it's like you are reading for something. This is what happened. I even experienced this. I remember how you were forced in high school to read. You are forced to wake up early in the morning at 4 to go and read, and you will hate this teacher, like, okay, this is not, this is even inhuman. You are coming, you are chasing us, beating us, and this is our lives. There's that entitlement when you don't know where you are heading. You are too much entitled to yourself, like, this is, at the end of the day, this is your life, because now you don't have anything. You don't know how hard is it to get the school fees. You don't know how hard is it to get the uniform, even you are wearing, the shoes, even the books, because you are too much entitled to somebody else, because you know this is what they should be doing. My parents should be doing this. Why should I even care? But that will change immediately when you come out of there. Everything will change. I remember back then how my parents used to really force me to go to school. But during that moment, you're given everything. When you come back, when you ask for all the things you need to use. They are giving you everything. They are giving you. But I remember the day I finished high school. Now come back home. You're excited now. The life is yours. Nobody is going to be limiting you again from whatever you are doing. Nobody will be even asking you anything. But it comes with a big load. I was thinking like now I will be free, life will be easier. But immediately when I arrived, things have changed. Even the people who seemed to care, they now seem not to care. And the things they used to give you, you are asking and they are telling you now you are an adult, you are done in the school. It's time now you find for yourself. And I remember sitting down somewhere and asking myself, so this is it. In school, you are forced to read. It was about us. It was about yourself so that you can get good grades, you go to a good university, and then you get your life. But you are seeing it as a punishment. But now, even before you rest, you are coming and facing the reality so hard that you feel like going back to school again. But no one is even willing to take you back because you had your time and you waste. So we have other people to concentrate. And if you did not do what you are supposed to do, now you have to just figure out what will happen next. But for us, we've done our part. Now it is you to face the reality, and it's really hard. When you try now to sit down and ask yourself this question, you'll find that you'll not get answers, and it will be too late when you even try to look back and even try to go back. It's really hard. It's really hard. My friend sometimes was telling me, "I wish we had the undo button in our lives, whereby when you make something wrong, you just press the undo button and everything becomes normal and you can redo it again. But life doesn't give us that luxury. So we must be cautious each and every time in whatever we do, in whatever we decide, so that we don't end up regretting our dates. We don't end up regretting if we had done something different. Maybe we will be somewhere else. The other thing of why people fail to decide is waiting for certainty. You are waiting for things to be okay. You are waiting for things to be straight. And by you waiting for things to be straight, you are wasting your time. You are wasting the lessons that you could have learned. Instead of you waiting for that certainty, why don't you fail and you get clarity of whatever you will do? I remember when I was starting my career. There's a difference between what we learn from school and the real application. I talked about this last week. I am telling you the first time I developed a website, it was not perfect. And for a moment, I even wanted to quit. I even did because I left from my first experience. I left web development for close to 8 months because the result that I got was too much frustrating. And remember, I was doing this because I had a project that I wanted to start. But now, since I failed in developing a website that I was going to use for my business, I had to leave and now decide on doing other things because it was hard compared to what I learned, compared to what I know at that particular moment. It took me 8 months to remember that even if it's hard, I have to do it again. It was the first time I have to come back again and redo it and try. I have failed once. It's not the end of the world. I can learn because after me failing, I went back and read about it. I went back and understand why did I fail. But after even understanding why did I fail, the results or the answer was too much for me.
Are
It
kibang
was,
order to. You emperor one.
sorry, Sam.
Yes, Emmanuel, you can proceed. I muted him. Please, guys, let's ask your mic muted.
Yeah, while I was saying, it took me months because I was still
Yes.
digesting when I saw the results of what I was supposed to do in order to get this thing working. It was too much for me. I now started questioning, like, again need to go back, start reading about these things, start apply, practicing. By the time I'm done, it will be over a year. What am I supposed to do? And this is something I needed to work on within a 3 weeks time frame. But now this is something also it's becoming too much for me. What am I supposed to do? But also
Excuse me.
that moment,
Let
yes,
me
sir.
interrupt you. Your screen is off already. It's not visible.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Just give me a moment. I will share in a few. Let me just finish this. So after spending now the 8 months, I came back again later to check on, because at that time I had a friend who needed something, and they knew that I had a background in IT, and they was asking if you can do this. And I was hesitant. At first, I wanted to say no, but I remember maybe it's something I can try, because if you see, there is even an opportunity without anybody anybody asking for your testimonials or what you've done or your portfolio. I ask myself, this is something I can try. Let me say yes, and I said yes. So after saying yes, now I had to come back and learn from a fresh and learn from afresh. But it took me time. This time, because I had changed my mentality, because I have changed my approach, it was not that much easy. I took time, though it took me some time to learn, but slowly I learned, and before I could develop my first website. It was not perfect, but the people I was developing for liked it, and they appreciate that. Gave me the motive to continue. That gave me the go ahead. And from then, slowly and slowly, I continued and where I am right now. If I had waited for certainty, I did not get any certainty after 8 months. I was still stuck in the same field I was, in the same spot I was. If I had decided to start learning by then, where will I be? But it is a mistake that I made, and I realized that here I am now. And as we see on the screen, you are not confused, you are just afraid to commit, because commitment is the start of everything. If you are not ready to commit, if you are not ready to start, then be ready to fail. Sam, I hope my screen is visible now. You can confirm if my slides are visible.
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you. What are the frameworks of decision making? The first framework of decision making is clarity. and then options, then consequences, decision, and then action. First of all, when we talk about clarity, what do I actually want? Before you decide, remember it's about ourselves. If you are a kid, maybe somebody else will decide for you, but now you really know what you want. And for this case, you think for yourself. You don't think for any other person. By asking yourself, what do I really want? Ask yourself, what do you really want? And if you know what you want, then it will be easier for you to decide. Last week I gave an example of something. It's the same with this one, though it was different because now we're talking about something else, but it was the same thing. And I will repeat the same for today. Today, you decide you want something. Maybe you want to go abroad to study. That is what you want. That is clarity. You know what you want. I want to go and study abroad. I finished my campus or my studies here. Maybe in Juba you are done with your campus studies, and you want to further your education, or you want to look for different opportunities outside there. So you decide, okay, I want to go abroad. This is the first clarity. You know what you want. When we talk about options now, since you want to go abroad, what are the options, or what are my possible paths for me to reach there? First of all, you have different paths. You can go there as a student. Also, you can go there as a for employment. Maybe you're applying for work permits, and it will get you there. So now we have two options. Yes, I wanted to go abroad because I'm done with my education here, and I feel like going there, it will give me a lot of opportunities. I want to go there. What are the possible paths I can do there also as a student, whereby I'll go and pursue something higher than what I have, and also this one will help me get what I want. And as I am studying there, I can also find some part-time work and get myself something to maybe finance my education and continue with other stuff. Number three is the consequences. Now, each and every part you chose have consequences. Yes. Number one, you are going there if you go there as a student, we have consequences. The consequence number one is that yes, you're going there as a student. That means most of the time you will be doing your studies. That means you will get some limited time to work. Assuming now this is your own decision. This is your own decision whereby nobody is going to help you. Maybe you decide on your own. No family member will be helping you on this decision, and you just want to try things out. That means if you don't have enough time to work, that means you getting enough money will be different. But remember, this place is maybe much better than where you are. That means if you do some things, it will also help you get some extra cash that can finance your living there. But will it be enough? Maybe the tuition there is too much. Will it be enough? If you choose to go if you choose to go for work directly, that means first of all, how are you going to get this? How are you going to get this kind of work? Yes, sometimes you can apply, you get without any difficulty, and they finance you with everything from the application or the visa processing to even the cost of flight. But if that doesn't happen, and most of the time you will find these agents, they are saying that we take you abroad, so you have to pay certain kind of certain amount so that you can go there. That is another consequences. Maybe you don't have that cash at the moment. That means now your options are now becoming limited. Yes, you had different options, but now these options, because of the consequence, because of the situations you are in, you find that now your options are becoming less. You choose one, and maybe you are well off enough. You can finance where you are all this, and you choose. I am going there now for education. I will go and study and look for part time. Now it's time to make a decision. You choose. There's no delaying here now. It's time for you to implement what you've decided. It's now for you to decide. Okay, I'm going there. You have chose the thing or the destination you want. But it doesn't finish there. You have decided. Now you remember, decision is one thing, but now after decision, if you don't take action, nothing will happen. You have decided you want now to start this process. You've checked all the options, the consequences. You've made a decision. The making decision is one thing, but now actualizing the decision is something else. Yes, most of us we make decisions. If I was talking about this last week, like we make decision each and every year, you are writing your decision for the year. But out of the things that you wrote, how many have you accomplished so far? How many have you worked on so far? Some you decided you managed to do, some you did not manage because of the consequences, because of the of things that happened in between, and you did not move on with the decision. So deciding is something else, and now actualizing is something else. And by action, you move immediately, you make mistakes, and you proceed. Sorry, I don't know if my screen is still visible.
No, it's not.
Okay, just a moment. Also, Sam will be checking on the comments. Maybe somebody have something, so you can help me check, and if there is something urgent, you can.
Welcome. People trying to looking for the survival, but no,
I hope my screen is
not to educated
visible now.
people that time will come. Yeah, time.
Sam, can you confirm this?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Thank you
Gabriel,
so much.
Gabriel Ring, are you asking a question? Okay, you can proceed.
The uncomfortable truth is that a wrong decision is better than no decision, because you can learn from a movement, but you can't learn from standing still. Because let's even use this example. If you do not make that first step when you were young, are you sure you will be working today? Yes, somebody maybe tried or pushed you to move, but it was your own will. It was your own decision that, okay, I've seen people working, and if I want something, it's there. What am I supposed to do? You started by crawling. Before you know, you stood up, and before you know, you make your first step. Why was it easy that time, whereby you didn't understand anything? You were just doing what you felt like doing. What happened when we grow up? We outgrow this thing. And if you see a child is somebody who can literally do anything because they can get whatever they want. This child now will be crying because maybe he or she wants to get something. They have seen someone, they will go for it. But what is wrong with us adults, whereby we know what we want, but we don't take the first step to get whatever we are looking for? What is it that we are too much afraid to do this? And yet, if we were afraid since, then we'll not even be where we are right now. That means this is just fear that we are even putting in ourselves, because if you check deep down yourself, you know what you wanted, and even you know the path. You know that if I want this thing, I have to go from here to there. I have to move from this path to there. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to follow the path that you know it will get you to where you want to be. It's a moment of reflection to understand that yes, I need to do this. I need to be really in a position whereby I can stand for myself, I can do whatever I want, I can get my own money. But what are you doing to get whatever you want to be? It's just a decision away. And for you, without making that decision, then you are failing. You are starting to fail. When we talk about decision making, it's something else. But without critical thinking, you will end up also making terrible decisions. Break your current thinking, because most people don't think. Most people don't think for themselves. For themselves. Because if you don't think for yourself, what will happen? Somebody else will think for you, and when somebody else think for you, they will end up making bad decision for you. They will end up making decisions for you that you are not comfortable. Have you been in a position whereby you really knew that this was not the right thing, but you end up doing because you did not think critically? You let somebody else influence your thinking. And when our thinking is influenced, that means you are not in a position to do. You've seen people who are blaming. I did this because my friend told me to do this. Maybe I got drunk because I was influenced. Maybe I did this. I broke maybe into somebody's home because I was drunk. So you end up blaming the external factors. But in real sense, you are the one who decided to make the first move. If you had not decided to maybe go and take alcohol or do something that doesn't align with your values, you will not be where you are today. Yes, you know, drinking, yes, is good, but it's not good when you overdo it. So you end up now drinking, or even drinking these different or these drinks that are, I don't know how to call them, because we know we have the ones that are safe, and we have the other ones that are not good for human consumption. The moment you take it, will make your mind go in a place that you can't even control. And you know these things. You have seen other people doing it. You have seen, and now you're going there to do it again, and now you blame. Just using it as an example, and it's happening. You don't let anybody decide for you. It's good for you to. It's better to decide the wrong thing, and you know that it was me. It was completely me. You will not end up blaming somebody. If it was not this person, I will not be where I am today. So the first thing, you decide that in whatever happens in your life, don't let anybody decide for you. Our parents decided for us for many years, and then now, after understanding or after knowing that we are old enough to decide for ourselves, they left us, so that also we can experience life. Because if they were to decide for us forever, most of us will not be where we are today, because somebody will think that this thing is good. It's good for them, it's good for their eyes, but maybe it's not good for you, because you know what you want. Somebody else thinks something is good for you, but you yourself knows that this thing is good for me. And if this thing is good for me, that means I should pursue this because it's good for me. And also, this thing, it's good for you, but it has consequences. It's good for you, it's not good for somebody else. So when you're making decisions, you're making decision for yourself, not for them. Because if you end up making decisions for other people, also will come and regret and start blaming. If things go wrong, you start now blaming them, that if it was not them, I'll not be here. I wish I could have done something better. I wish I could have decided for myself. I'll be somewhere else now. But you let other people to decide for you, and now you want to blame them. It's not about them, it's about you, because you are the one that hold the keys to your mind. So if you decide to keep the keys away, then don't come and blame other people, because you gave them and you let them in. So they came and did whatever they did. And now you are here crying and saying that I will. As I said before, life has no undo pattern. So if you mess up, that's it. You just have to learn from it and don't make the same mistake again. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is the process of thinking beyond the service. Instead of assuming, you question the assumption. Instead of rushing into decision, you analyze the information. Instead of seeking for justification, you think independent. Why? Because if you don't question the assumption, you will end up making a wrong decision. That is it, because it's a process. You can't expect to make good decisions when you are not thinking critically. Have you heard somebody saying that I was not in good mental state to make decisions? You know, and it reaches even a point whereby some people cannot be allowed to make decisions because of the condition they are in. Maybe somebody is sick, critically sick. They are lying in a hospital bed. Those people cannot make decisions. Yes, maybe they might be in their correct mental state. But remember, before making the decision, this is not their decision. This is somebody else has influenced them. Maybe they want to do something and they need a decision from them. And now maybe they are not able even to give back. So whatever you are going to tell them, it will be easier for you to convince them, like, okay, this is what we want to do, and they can end up making decisions, which they will come and regret later. Because this kind of person is not in a good condition to make a decision. They can't question their assumption. They can't analyze the information given, and they cannot think independently. How can you think independently now if somebody else is giving you, is telling you what to think or telling you what to do without you thinking, thinking critically or thinking independently? So before you move on, or before you do something else, these are the three things you should do. These are the three things you should consider in every aspect of our life. Don't say things like, oh, this is a small thing, this is something that does not require me to think, or our mind is always thinking. So just spare your time, just 5 minutes to think about this. Don't rush into making a decision. Also, at some point, we've find ourselves. Give me a few seconds. Hold on. I'm back. Okay. Critical thinking is not being smart. It's being intentional with how you think. Critical thinkers are not smart. They're just intentional in whatever they want to do. Because whatever I think will affect my judgment in the long run. So you have to think before you're making that decision. And by thinking, you don't just think. You follow the sequence. What are they saying? you question the assumption or the reality. Because our minds, as I said before, is that our mind is conditioned to only focus on the easy things. Your mind is something that was made to challenge you every time. So it will always settle for things that are simple. Let me give you an example. You have two things to do. Maybe you have a project you want to finish, and also you have a maybe you have a phone, and there is maybe something good you really want to watch, or maybe something is happening in wherever you are, something interesting, something you like. Your mind will always tell you to settle for something that is simple. It will not tell you like, okay, this thing is not good for you, so you can concentrate fast on your work. It will tell you something that is simple, because your mind also is lazy, but you are the one to make your mind work for you by accepting that, yes, I know you don't want me to go with this thing, but this thing will determine my outcome, to determine my some even determines your life. And by the time you challenge your mind that no, this is not the right thing to do, for now, first I need to finish this project, then I will come back to this later when I'm free. Your mind will understand like, oh, this is somebody who understands him or herself. And by the time the mind now understand that, okay, you cannot be tempted, each and every time you want to do something, it will not give you these crazy things, this alternative for you to do. These things that will discourage or disconnect you from the main goal. Because you've trained your mind to be hard, you've trained your mentality to be strong. So it will not be swayed away by the external factors. If you know you are working on this, you will work on it until you finish. Now that you can think of the alternatives or the other options for you to explore. What are the illusions of thinking? Just as a thought comes to your mind, it doesn't mean that you are thinking. Yeah, those are the illusions. So you just seated somewhere, and then a thought just come out randomly, and now you think, okay, that's it. You are now thinking. You are now thinking. You are reacting. There's difference between thinking and reacting, because if a thought comes to your mind and you act on it, that you did not think, you just acted immediately without thinking about something. Assuming now you see or you hear people screaming outside, and you just rush out there. Going outside, you find that maybe there are some two people fighting. Maybe your friend is beaten by somebody else, and because you didn't think, you end up now going there maybe to attack the person who is fighting your friend without even knowing what really happened. And now maybe you're attacking the person who even you don't know. Yes, you've saved a life. Maybe you are about to maybe that the fight was going out of hand, but now you reacted without thinking. Assuming you end up there and they hit you instead, and maybe they break your head or your leg, or even you end up in hospital. You just acted, or you just reacted without thinking of the consequences. Yes, it's a good thing you are going to help this person, but what about yourself? What about in the process of you helping, you get yourself hurt, or you get yourself in a deep mess? First, you needed to think, and I was talking to somebody some day, and also she's a friend, and she was telling me, if you don't take care of whatever you think or how you act on emotions, you'll end up in a difficult spot, or you'll end up regretting what you just did. Because most of the time we react based on emotions. Like the example I was giving, if something is really out of hand and you want to get answers, if you are not in a position to really think, you can even ask somebody, okay, quickly. It doesn't take long, like, okay, what is it happening, or what is going on here? That thing or the time you are taking to that few seconds you are taking to ask from someone, it will change the whole perspective. It will change how you see what is happening. It will change how you will think from that point. So also, yes, it's good to think independently based on the situation you are in. But if you are under something that is really urgent and you are not able to make a decision, it's good to ask somebody for a different opinion or to understand what is happening. Because if you decide and you don't know what is really happening, you will end up now hurting yourself instead of even helping the person you wanted to help. I hope we are together up to there. You hear something, you agree immediately. So because now your friend told you something, you trust them that much that you can't even think. And this has ruined a lot of lives. This ruined our lives in one way or another. We just don't want to think for ourselves because we trust these people so much that now whatever they're telling us is true. You just accept somebody comes and tells you, oh, this and this happened, and you're like, oh, yes, somebody is telling me this, somebody is bad, he did this and this and this. And now you, without even thinking, now you also start hating the person. And remember, this person has done nothing to you because you did not think for yourself. Yes, maybe this person is bad to your friend, not to yourself. Why should I join you in hating the person that has not done anything to me? It has happened in our families and everything. We just join the queue because this person is bad to maybe my friend, maybe my relative, maybe my brother, my sister. It doesn't have to be that way. You just have to think for yourself. Not let anybody decide for you. Not let anybody give you things that you are not supposed to get. You see something, you believe immediately without asking or without feeling like maybe this thing is not right. Maybe there's a backstory of this thing. Because of what you saw, then you are making a conclusion. Okay, this is it. You feel something, you act immediately, like what I was saying. Reaction is automatic, thinking is intentional. You can react immediately, but now thinking is intentional because you know what you want. You know the end goal. What real thinkers are, or what real thinking looks like. Critical thinkers slow down. I was giving you an example of two people fighting, and now you want to help. But before you helping them, you slow down first and even try to ask or try to see what is or what are they fighting for. Because if you end up now reacting immediately, everything can turn against you. Maybe even some they were joking, or maybe they were just playing around. And now because didn't want to slow down and ask, okay, what is happening? You just jumped in. Because have you ever asked yourself, maybe you find this situation whereby you go somewhere, you are in a certain place, and then immediately you see maybe there are two guys fighting. And there are people around there, and they are not doing anything to separate these people. What comes into your mind? But what is it that there are these people here and they don't want to separate these people? Is it that these all people around here are heartless? Do you pause to ask yourself such question? Maybe because these people know what is happening between them. That's why they don't want to interfere. But now because you want to react immediately without slowing down and think, you find yourself in a difficult spot. And now you'll be asking, they'll be telling you now, you thought we were stupid standing here without doing anything. And it has happened. Most of this, it happened even in our lives. We rush making decisions whereby you end up later asking yourself, why did I do this? Because you did not pause, reflect, and even ask, question your assumptions like, why am I doing this in the first place? Because critical thinking is the first step to making good decisions. Without you thinking critically, that means you'll end up making a bad decision again and again and again. We said earlier that it's good to make decisions because making decisions is better than standing still. But also making bad decisions continuously is not something to be proud of. Because if you are making decisions without thinking critically, that means you are doing nothing. For you to make decisions, you are supposed to think critically. That means you are in a position you think everything before making a decision. You know that, yes, I've decided on this thing. These are the consequences. These are the outcomes. Everything you know. You have everything on the table. So that if by chance something happened or by chance something goes out, you know, because you had already conditioned your mind to know that I've decided on this thing and I know it might go wrong. And if it goes wrong, these are the consequences. And your mind now will be ready to face the consequences. But if you just acted on something without without thinking critically, this thing will get you off guard. And by the time you recover from whatever it is, it will be too late and you will have lost a lot. They pause before reacting. They question for information. They separate facts from emotions. Facts from emotions. This is something really important. How many times have you been forced to make decisions based on emotions because you were dating with this girl or man, and then they end up making or breaking your heart? Maybe you found that they are staying with somebody else, and because of your emotions, because of your emotional attachment, you find it hard to believe that this is something that might happen. You made a decision to be with this person, but you did not think critically that what if this person did cheat, or what if this person end up doing something that I'm not comfortable with. And now, because you did not ask yourself this question, you end up now acting emotionally. By acting emotionally, you end up even planning to even kill this person because you are hurt. You're feeling that, okay, this my life depended on this person. You find yourself doing crazy things because you did not think critically, and you have not separated facts from emotion. They are facts and they are emotion. And facts is that, yes, they have done whatever they have done, but it's not about you. Why do you have to take everything about you? Remember, whatever happens is not even about you. If this person decided to find somebody else, it's not about you, it's about them. So you just have to accept that, yes, life is ups and downs. And today I'm down because maybe this person, I'm not even the right person, or maybe I'm good, I'm too good for this person. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, okay, maybe this happened, but maybe whatever happened, it's because I am too good for what it is that happened. You always want to be the one, to be the victim in everything. And being the victim does not solve the problem. You just have to see the facts and see, like, okay, this has happened. And what was my goals again? My goals was for me to go to school, achieve this, achieve this, do this. Yes. But because of this, somebody who has decided to cheat on me, you want to drift everything. You want to leave everything behind, and now you go after this single thing, forgetting that, yes, this is just one person. There are a million of other people. You will meet different people, and maybe even you will be the one to leave this person, even if whatever happened did not happen. Maybe you are the one to leave the same person, and what will they feel, or how will they act? So it doesn't matter that because they did something to you now, they are wrong and you are right. No, maybe you are. It's just a matter of time. Maybe they don't do what they did, and now you end up doing the same thing to them. So if you separate facts from emotion, you'll end up in a good place than putting emotions in everything. But all this happens because of our thinking. If we don't think, we'll end up making decisions based on emotion. But if we think critically and understand that this thing is not good for me, you will let it go and you'll continue with your life. Critical thinkers don't follow blindly. You slow down, you see, is this route aligning with my goals? If it's not, you step down and you go weighing that feels satisfying to your long-term benefits. Let's see how to know if you are thinking critically. And this is something now you should check for yourself. Let's start with how you know that you are not thinking critically. You agree with everything you hear. Somebody tells you a story, somebody tells you a belief, they think it's right for themselves. You take it in. You follow trends without questioning. You avoid uncomfortable truth. Somebody is trying to tell you something like this, whatever you're doing is wrong, but you don't want to accept because you are blinded by the situation or the circumstance you are in. You are blinded by the things you are having at that particular moment. You are not able to see the other side of the story. You defend your opinion without evidence. Yes, you just want to let people know that you are right, even though you don't have anything to back up your defense. You still go ahead and defend your opinion. You rely on your emotions. So if your emotions tells you this is the right thing you do, you go and do. If your emotions feels like okay, today you don't want to do this, you don't do it. If your emotions tells you like okay, today you know even you are tired, you have been working the whole night, you didn't have time to rest. You see, you don't even have to attend this meeting. It's not even important. What is happening? Can you imagine when you were starting this class? We had a lot of students, a lot of students had applied for this. Yes, regardless of some other external factors, some did not feel like it was the right thing to do. They felt like, okay, 2 hours is too much. How am I even going to stay there listening just to somebody talking for the entire 2 hours? Maybe it is 2 hours. I could have even slept. I've been going to school from Monday to Friday. I've been working. I even don't have time to rest. So instead of me sitting here for 2 hours, why don't I just sleep? And when you saw this, or when you applied for this fellowship, you applied for this fellowship because there is something that triggered. There is something that this fellowship triggered in your body, and you feel like this is the right thing I should do. This is the right thing to do. What made you apply for this fellowship will make you stay. But if you apply blindly without thinking, that's why you see now you find it hard to attend this session because you just follow trend. Maybe you heard from a friend that there is this build your business fellowship that is happening for 3 months, and your friend was telling you it's good. I even got a certificate. I got this and this. I was able to learn this and this and this. Yeah, you follow trends without asking questions, without asking uncomfortable truth. Like, how do they conduct their session? How long does it last? How about the assignments? You did not ask. You just saw the certificate, but you didn't ask the process of getting that certificate or you know. And now you're finding it hard because you did not question. You just made a decision based on your emotions. You are thinking critically if you ask why constantly. If even somebody tells you just something, you don't just agree. You just ask why. Why are you telling me something? Because maybe something will be somebody will be telling you something because they want something from you. Can you imagine somebody who has never commented you before or never gave you a compliment before? Just from out of blue, this person is telling you, "Oh, you are looking nice today." Can't you even ask yourself why is this person complimenting me today? And we've been with this person for a very long time. I've been even doing more things than what I did today. Why are they complimenting me today? You just have to ask why. You just have to ask, okay, what is the purpose of this compliment? Because if this is the person you've been, just an example, you just have to question. This is not normal. Maybe this person is just complimenting so that they can get something else. You challenge your own beliefs. You don't just sit down and believe in everything. Yeah, sometimes you believe that this and this and this should go, but sometimes you challenge because your even own self can make you doubt everything, can make you land in different places that you are not meant to be. You have to challenge your own belief. You seek different perspective. Like I was saying, before you jump to something, you just quickly ask somebody like, okay, I'm in this situation. What can I do? Because Most of the time when we found ourselves in difficult sport, our mind is revolving all around. You are having millions of thoughts. And remember, a thought is not thinking. These are just things that are running through our minds. What can I do? I can do this, I can do this. And if you're faced in that confusion, you have to seek for help from somebody else who is sober. That's why you ask if it's a friend, please, can you help me with this? I'm going through this. Can you help me with this? How does a person act when they found themselves in such a situation? Or what am I supposed to do? It doesn't take long because remember the other person is sober, so it will be easier for them to think immediately compared to you. The thing that you are supposed to think for 20 minutes because now you are incapable of thinking critically. This person can think in 1 minute and they will tell you, oh, this is not hard. You can do this and this. See, you accept when you are wrong. Most of the time, we try to play victims in everything because we don't want to take accountability. We don't want to accept that you are wrong. And we said in decision making, like if you fear judgment, that means you are not ready to change. Because if you can't accept wrong, how are you going to move on with your life? And you think before acting. Critical thinkers are not always right, but they are always aware. Problem solving. You have talked about decision making. We have talked about critical thinking. And now let's talk about problem solving. Because in everything that we've talked about, again, problems will arise. Yes, we know how to make decisions. We know how to think critically. But if we don't know how to solve problems, that means we are still lacking. And none of this will work if we just leave any of these aspects. You can know how to solve problems, but you don't know how to think critically. But how can you even solve a problem if you can't think critically? Or how can you make a decision if you don't know how to solve a problem? Because you cannot tell me you can solve really problems, but you don't know to make a decision. It doesn't work like that. These things go hand in hand. Each and every one depends on another. And first thing before even you try to solve a problem, you just have to understand that problem is not a punishment, or problems are not punishment. Every level of life comes with a new level of problem. Have you when you were growing up, you thought like as I was saying before, I knew like after finishing high school, my life will be free. I will be able to do everything. It's like that is then like my problem now was in high school. Like all the problem I was facing was in high school, but I never knew that in each and every level of life, when you finish this kind of problem, you will be facing different and even more problem than what you are dealing with. But is your mind ready to understand that even though now you are really looking for that good life, you want a good job that pays you a lot. But remember, nobody will pay you a lot if you are doing less. That means the demand is high. You are getting this money because you are working for it. Nobody will pay you millions and you are doing nothing. And it's a problem also because it comes to a mental breakdown. Sometimes you can't be able to think. It comes to the energy levels you are using. It comes with time. You have to sacrifice even your own kids. You don't have time for them just because you want something good for them, and you know it's a problem. Everything is a problem. If you leave this thing, it's a problem. If you don't also, it's a problem. Somebody was saying, choose your heart, because nothing is easy. Everything comes with a positive side and a negative side. So if you just want to focus on the positive side, that means you'll not go far, because nothing in this life has only the good side of it. Each and everything has the bad side. Why people stay stuck? You stay stuck because of the emotional reaction. You panic. You are in a deep mess. Instead of now you thinking critically and making good decisions, you are stuck. You panic. You start blaming people. Avoidance. Because you can't make up, you can't solve a problem. You are acting emotionally. And I said emotions does not make good decisions. It will just settle you in places of temporary comfort. But long term, no. What are the frameworks of problem solving? Solve like a leader. What does leaders do when there is a problem? First of all, you define what is this problem. Why am I facing this problem? I'm facing this problem because of what I did. Yes, I had a deadline to submit my assignment. Normally, when we give out assignments, we give out assignments for a week. By the end of the week, you are supposed to submit the assignments. Now we are taking this as a case study. The problem is that you did not submit your assignment by Friday. That's defining the problem. You know, and you know it's a problem because if you don't submit your assignment, that means you are not be graded. And when you don't receive any grades, how will you graduate? Because you know you are coming to this fellowship, you are supposed to do assignment, supposed to attend classes, you are supposed to do assignment. They will grade your assignment, they'll give you results, and then you graduate. Now, after defining this problem, yes, I failed to submit my assignment because over the week, maybe I was caught up in something. Maybe I was doing my exam, so I've been busy trying to read for the exams. I didn't get time to submit my assignment. What will I do? You analyze. Okay, these assignments they give these assignments on a weekly basis. So since I did not achieve to submit, what am I supposed to do? What is really happening? First of all, what's happening at that particular moment is that chances is that you will not be graded because how they will grade you without doing an assignment. Now you've analyzed, you know the consequences. This is where now you know the consequences. What are the options? The option number one now is first thing, we are using this case study of assignment. First thing you have to think is I must reach out to the program manager of this village. First of all, I want to you reach out and you ask, like, I was not able to do this because of this, and they will guide you. Okay, it's understandable. You can still, though it's late, you can still submit your assignment. That is the first option. The second option, you can do the assignment, you try to complete the assignment and you submit, then you reach out later. You just find all the possible options. And if you are working on a system that does not allow you to submit after deadlines, you know what to do, because the first thing you do is to reach out to convey a message like, okay, if not, I did not do this earlier because of 1, 2, 3, but now I am able to do it, but I can't submit. What am I supposed to do? And they will guide you. Those are the options. And then you act now, you take action. By taking action is that now you do the work. And then after doing the work, you come back now and review. Like, I was not able to submit this assignment on time because of what? First thing, maybe I was sitting for an exam. I was too much busy. I could not find time to do this assignment and submit on time. Reviewing now is that you are going back to the problem after you have done or you have solved the problem. Doesn't end there, because same thing can happen in the future. And for you to avoid it, you just have to review, like, this one didn't work and this worked. It worked because I came and do it, because I asked somebody and they told me this. What if somebody, or what if the next time there's someone that I will ask will not be lenient enough to give me the second chance? What will I do? That means even if you are in a difficult spot, you find time, you squeeze an hour. If this is, you have 10 questions and you know you are too busy, you can say like, today, I have 5 days, I can do 2 questions. Every 30 minutes, I will find time to do 2 questions until I finish and I submit on time. That's how leaders do. They don't just solve the problem, but they reflect, they check the problem. That's how they go back and review like what happened, what did I miss? Because doing a problem is not a problem, but repeating a problem is a problem. Because you are repeating the same thing. That means you did or you solved the first one, but you are not conscious enough to understand that problems happen in a regular basis. And for you to avoid problems, you have to check what didn't work at that particular moment and what you are supposed to do the next time so that you don't find yourself in a difficult spot. Because assuming you are leading a group of maybe 100 people, grouped in 10, 10, 10, 10, and the same things happen, the same problem happen, and you solve, and you do not review what happened. That means the same thing will happen. And maybe this time the group has grown to maybe 1,000 people. How will you manage? That means you will fail because you fail to review and close those gaps. The title here is telling us the real problem is not the problem. Why? Because sometimes you're solving the wrong problem. And most people don't fail because of problem. They fail because they misunderstand the problem. And I gave out a really simple example here. You say I don't have a job, but the real problem might be, what if you are applying a job, you don't have skills? You are applying for an accountant job and you are an IT person. How does that really work? HR even does not have to look at your CV. They just dump before they enter their emails. Maybe you have a poor CV. Maybe you're not writing your CV well. Yes, you have the qualification, you have everything, and you're not writing your CV well. We will hire somebody who is not organized, because if you can't organize your CV, that means even when we give you this job, you can't really perform. Because if you fail at organization, how do you expect to succeed in a real work environment? No applications at all. Yes, you don't have a job because you are not applying. So you are trying to solve a problem of you not having a job, but you are not applying, you are not doing anything. The next thing is fear of rejection. You don't want to do everything. You don't have a job, but you don't want to be rejected. That means you don't want to go and ask for this job. You don't want to apply for this job because you fear that email. Like, we regret to inform you that we did not, have you sat down and thought for a second that maybe whatever I'm doing is not correct? Maybe I'm trying to solve a different program, a different problem. That's why I say before, these things are linked, because you cannot solve a problem if you are not thinking critically. And you cannot solve a problem if you cannot make a decision. I hope you understand. If you solve the wrong problem, you stay stuck longer. Emotion versus logic. As I said, you stop reacting and start thinking. You have the emotional response and the logical response. Emotional response, you panic, you blame, and you complain. Logical response, you pause, analyze, and act. The last thing is the 5 whys method of solving a problem. Before you solve a problem, you ask yourself these 5 questions. You don't have a job because you ask yourself why I didn't get hired. Why I lack relevant skills. Maybe you did not get a job because you lack relevant skills. Yes, maybe you have the qualification, but this job demands skills and you don't have those skills. Why I lack relevant skills? That means you have to go there and study those skills and then you reapply. Why I did not learn consistently? Because maybe you don't have a job because you were fired. Why? Because you did not upskill. You just got this job in the year 2010. You did not do anything else. Now it is 2025. The world is moving really fast, and there is now other things are being introduced, and the employer finds you irrelevant because you don't have anything to add. You are becoming irrelevant. That's why you don't have a job. Why I like discipline? Because if you are disciplined enough, you'll know that I have to do something. I don't just have to depend on what I have or the skills that I have or the qualifications that I have right now. I have to find something else. I have to explore so that I don't find myself in a difficult spot. And the last thing is why I don't have structure. Because if you had a structure helps you understand, like, I am here today and I want to be there tomorrow. What will help me to reach where I am? That means you develop a structure. You know that if I want to be somebody else in the next 10 years, I have to do this and this and this. You develop a structure. Like right now, I am here. These are my finance. For me to reach here, I have to start saving. I have to start opening a business. I have to start upskilling. I have to, all those options. That is what we call structure. And that's how you solve a problem. Because your problem is not outside, it's how you operate it. And the last thing is think like a problem solver. You don't just think up of a problem, but you think the problem as something that can be solved. You shift your identity. Stop seeing yourself as someone with problems. Start seeing yourself as someone who solves problems. Yes, we all see ourselves like we see ourselves as problems. Yeah, because you failed at this thing. Now you consider yourself like a problem. You feel like I'm not even enough. I wish I was having this. But have you even stopped for 1 second and ask yourself, what about those people who don't have like everything? Handicap, those people who don't have, like someone who doesn't see. And they live. Have you ever asked yourself how do they even live with the fact that they don't have these things? Have you ever asked yourself how bad they feel because they can't see? Or how bad they feel because they can't walk? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself? And if you in one way or another, God forbid, you find yourself in that spot, what will you do? Because immediate thing that will come into your mind is that no, this is not me. I just have to die. You want to commit suicide and die. That's what happens because you don't want to, you just don't appreciate what you have. You see yourself as a problem, yet you have everything. What about the person now who lacks what you have? We just have to shift our mindset from who we are and what we can achieve. Because if you start to see yourself as someone who can solve a problem, that means you've won. Because wherever you are, whatever situation you are in, you know in one way or another, I must get out of this situation and find myself in a better place. Problem mindset, why me? This is hard. That's what you say. Because you have a problem mindset, you see yourself as a problem. When something happens, you start questioning. Like, why does this happen to me? Why doesn't this happen to somebody else? Why does it have to happen to somebody else? Why not you? We just have to accept that, okay, it has happened to me, but what am I going to do with it? Am I going to live with it or am I going to do something to get myself out of this problem? You say this is hard. Who said it's hard? And you find that some people have even faced the worst of what you experienced, and they were able to come out of whatever they had because of their mindset. What about the solver mindset? When you have a problem, you think of what is the solution. You see all the options. What are the options that I have for this? What can I do better? Or what did I do wrong and I am supposed to do better? What's my next move? Yes, because you failed now, your business failed now. You don't rely on the failure because this business is what you rely. This business is what is feeding your family. So if you don't think, if you start saying now why this it's me, why this business failed, or why, or this is hard, that means your family will sleep angry. So what do you have to do? Just have to think strategically. Just have to think critically. What is the solution, of what's my next move? Your identity determines your response. And I guess that comes to an end of our discussion today. This is the last slide. You can read for yourself. And yeah, I hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful discussion. Back to you, Sam. Samuel? As we are waiting for Samuel, you can ask questions if you have any question. This is your chance now to ask. I will go through the chat to see if you have any questions, but also you can unmute and ask the questions that you have. Meanwhile, Samuel, you can take over from here. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was so amazing. I think without wasting time, we only have 6 minutes to stoppage time. So I think we will have to go roughly. For those who have questions, I think you can send them in the chat if you are unable to speak over the mic. And if you can speak over the mic, please put up your hand emoji, and then we'll be able to give you the opportunity to ask your question or also comments and inputs. You can also share that. So I'm going to share also the link for the attendance. So in the chat, you have to make sure you sign the attendance. I mean, fill the attendance as we continue with Q&A session. So let's do that, shall we? So here is the link for the attendance. Please fill it out. Yes, let's. If the question, please, if the question, you can ask them, and also inputs, comments also allowed. I think as you think of what to ask or to give, I just want to say something about decision. Like decision really hit home. Like, I learned that decision making isn't just about choosing quickly. Yeah, it's to me it's just like choosing wisely. Like even when things are uncertain. Like what stood out for me most, uh, like how critical thinking forces you to slow down, to understand, like, and also questions assumptions and see beyond the obvious things that we could think them through without taking much time to decide. Uh, it's uncomfortable at times, but that's where we really I mean, like the real growth comes or happens at certain times. So through decisions, I realized that the problem solving also is not just always having the, like the right answer to give or to to decide. It just having it's about having the courage to face challenges. Break you have to break them down, understand, and keep moving forward even when things aren't clear for you. So life doesn't come with perfect options. It comes with the trade-offs. You understand. So this session, I really enjoyed it. It really reminded me that the strong decisions are built on clarity. Understand? So you know already what to do. You know what you are thinking about, and what is already that on board that you want to solve. It's about self-awareness and also the willingness to learn from the mistakes. You understand? So honestly, this session, it was really a mindset shift. It changed me to become more intentional. When I give it a thought, when I try to see how far I've come to this in life. Understand? So it's really more reflective and also more accountable for choices that I make every day. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel about this session today. So I really appreciate Emmanuel for sharing such a knowledge with us today. So let's feel free, please, to ask questions and also to give your inputs and also your comments for this before we call it a day. So I'm going to repeat again. I've shared the link of attendance in the chat, so you can please try to fill it out as we continue with Q&A session. So thank you for listening. And so let's have the questions as quickly as possible. Okay. I think there's one question here. I don't know, Emmanuel, if you are following from the chat. Let me try to read that out. Okay. This from Pan Mark. Critical thinking is about deep understanding of what you do, how you will how you will do it. So my question is, what way can you use when things got bad and time is limited? What effort can you do and in and impossible things? I think that's the question. So you can go through in the chat and you can answer that. And as you answer that question, so please keep your question coming in the chat, or you can put emoji.
Thank you, Sam. I've seen the question. I'm trying to understand this question. Tawan is asking what way can you use when things go bad and time is limited? So this question is related to critical thinking. As I said, Tawan, when you're faced in or when you are in a difficult spot and you want to decide something, I'm telling you this from an experience. First of all, if you are not able to decide, because when something really happened that you are not expecting, your mind will be running through a lot of different thoughts. And remember, these thoughts cannot make a decision. They're just thoughts. They're just options that cannot help you. And if you follow these thoughts, you'll end up making wrong decisions. As I said, you pause first. You pause and you ask yourself, why did this happen? And if you're not able to be in that position, remember, you ask yourself this question. What you can do is you really find somebody quickly. It doesn't have to be somebody you know. It doesn't have to be somebody you know. As long as you are with people or as you are with anybody around you, remember, I say that this person is so. Regardless of how your situation is, this person can think. As I say, this whatever the situation you are in, it will take you maybe 20 minutes to process and try to think. But when you tell this thing to somebody who is sober, it will be easier because they can see beyond you. They can be able to think and tell you, like, okay, this is something that has happened. Maybe you are supposed to do this and this. You remember, this person will not give you a decision. It will just open your mind for you to think, like to to enable you to just see whatever has happened in a different view. Because remember, our mind loves justification. So when somebody else gives you a different perspective, it will open your mind now and you'll start thinking for yourself. But if you want to do it on your own, like now you are trying to make this decision, you don't want to share with somebody, and it is something really critical, you'll end up making a bad decision. So you pause and you check around yourself. Is there anybody? Is this something that can wait? If it can wait, you can't make that decision right away. Then just wait, relax. By the time you come back to the same thing, maybe in the next 2 hours, at least you'll have a different perspective and you will be thinking clearly because now you are sober. So I hope I answered your question. I did not get the last part, but if you can also unmute and try to explain the last part, I will also help in answering. But I hope you are able to get the answer. The one, if you are still here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Yes, you can proceed. Okay, thank you.
Good, huh?
Yes, thank you.
What?
You are talking to one. If you can, yes, I was asking if you got the answer or if there is something you want to clarify about the last session, you can ask. The last section, I mean.
Yeah, actually, it is a nice session today. Then, when it comes to the topic of when it comes to the topic of today, it's very amazing. Even it's nice presentation about the